Good evening and welcome to the API's On Government program for Thursday, November 13th, 2025. I'm Nika Anderson Isaacs. Coming up, we hear that across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, stories of progress, resilience, and unity continue to unfold, from new homes taking shape on the leeward side to cultural spaces being unveiled at our nation's gateway. We begin with reconstruction and renewal as prefabricated homes rise in one leeward community, building not just houses but stronger, more resilient lives after hardship. Then to the Argyle International Airport, where heritage meets modern comfort with the unveiling of the Garifuna Lounge, a space that celebrates our rich culture and offers travelers a taste of Vincentian warmth before they take flight. In education, nourishment and care meet in the classroom. With support from government and NGOs, students are receiving healthy, balanced meals. And finally, as the nation prepares to go to the polls, the supervisor of election is calling for peace, patience, and respect, reminding all citizens that democracy thrives best when exercised with integrity and calm. Stay with us. These stories and more are coming right after the break. But first, let's join Barvin Olivier for Newswatch.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch. I am Barvin Oliver. The Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA, is offering 5 fully funded postgraduate programs for the 2025 academic year. A release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Consumer Affairs says these programs are designed to nurture future leaders who will contribute to the socio-economic development of their respective countries. Applications are open to government officials and employees of public institutions who possess a bachelor's degree and satisfy the admissions requirements of the respective universities. The participating universities are Ewha Women's University, Hanyang University, Korean National University of Education, Korea University, Seoul National University. The scholarships provide comprehensive support, including full tuition coverage, round-trip airfare, accommodation, monthly living allowance, settlement and completion grants, health insurance, and participation in cultural and extracurricular activities. The deadline is December the 5th, 2025. Detailed information on eligibility program offerings and application procedures can be found at the KOICA CIAT website. Helen's Daughters, a Caribbean-based non-profit organization operating in St. Vincent, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and Nevis, has partnered with the Sandals Foundation to launch the Farmers Market. Farmers, as the name suggests, is based on the belief that empowering women in agriculture, entire communities are transformed. Farmers Market has taken root as a vibrant space where women proudly sell their produce, showcase handmade crafts, and share their fresh and flavorful local products to their communities. To this end, Country Coordinator for Helen's Daughters, Shaquana Barber, is inviting the public to support the women at their Farmers Market on Saturday, November the 15th.
We have carried out a flagship of programs throughout the years, and one of our flagship programs that we carry out is what we call our Farmers Market. Join us this Saturday, November the 15th at Calico Plainfield from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., where our farmers will be there selling their local agro-processing products, raw produce, and products range from female-based products, craft, muffins, local juice, and even come pass by to get your avocados and coconuts. See you there, November the 15th at Calico Plainfield.
And engineer Chesley Stoddard says the prefab house bases are designed to withstand a wide variety of natural threats. Stoddard was visiting a housing development in the community of Bookament, where several prefab and traditional concrete houses are being erected. The construction of these houses forms part of the government's thrust to help Vincentians recover from the impacts of Hurricane Beryl. Stoddard said the prefab structures can withstand hurricanes and earthquakes.
The prefab structures, slabs, are basically earthquake resistant, they're resistant, hurricane safe, and flood prone as well. So their bases are designed from the company of the Trinidad, so we build them according to their specifications. So I know that these bases are to at least those 3 areas of concern for everybody. Yes.
All right, so to be safe for flooding, safe for hurricanes in general.
And safe for some seismic activity. I don't think anything under a seismic 4, we should be okay. Anything above that, yeah.
Stoddard added that the concrete houses are also being built with resilience in mind.
The 1-bedroom duplexes, we elevated them to match the same design as the prefab houses. So all of them are going to be elevated to take care of our flooding concerns that might come down the road. The rafters for the houses as well are being installed to withstand hurricane strengths, and it's being secured to post armor levels. Basically, that we're going to construct it like how we're accustomed to, but we're going to reinforce it to upstand to what Beryl have put forward, right? Awesome. So all of those characteristics have been put forward and in place in these housing so far.
And that's all we have for today's News Watch. The API's Iron Government continues with Nika Anderson Isaacs.
Welcome back. On the leeward side of the island, a quiet but powerful transformation is taking place. Amid the rolling hills and coastal breeze, new prefabricated homes are a rising symbol of renewal, resilience, and national progress. This community, once marked by loss and uncertainty, now stands at the heart of reconstruction efforts that is rebuilding not only houses but also hope. These modern prefab structures designed for strength and efficiency are giving families a fresh start, safer, sturdier, and building to withstand the test of time and nature. What's unfolding here on the Leeward Coast is more than construction. It's a testament to the spirit of Vincentians, a story of innovation meeting compassion, and a glimpse into the future of housing across our nation.
All right, we're all the way out here at Bookament, and Mr. Stoddard, we noticed that there's some significant construction taking place. There's some bases for the prefab houses, as well as the construction of some regular type housing. In relation to what is happening, what's taking place here?
Good morning, Brian, and welcome to another update on the housing project for the Ministry of Housing and HLSDC. As you've been mentioning, we down here in the community of Bookament and the Bookament Housing Community Project. Right behind you is what we have, what we call our 1-bedroom duplexes. That's the block structures you see going up with the roof going on. And as you mentioned, there is the slabs then for the prefab houses that are coming out of Trinidad. We're making significant progress, to get, people back from the Beryl, disaster and everybody back in the houses. So this is one of the few projects down on the central leeward side that we're constructing right now, and we just come to give an update to the community and to the wider Vincentian public on what the progress is so far.
All right. In terms of the duplexes and their construction, how are they being built so that the residents can feel safe in terms of dealing with hurricanes, flooding, and whatever the natural disasters that may come?
Well, the 1-bedroom duplexes, we elevated them to match the same design as the prefab houses. So all of them are going to be elevated to take care of our flooding problems or flooding concerns that might come down the road. The rafters for the houses as well are being installed to withstand hurricane strengths, and it's being secured to post armor levels. basically that we're going to construct it like how we accustomed to, but we're going to reinforce it to upstand to what Orma could have, not Orma, Beryl have put forward, right?
Awesome.
So all of those characteristics have been put forward and in place in these housing so far.
All right, so we know they're mostly one-bedroom duplexes, but if per se someone wants to do some add-ons in the future, is there space and would they be able to do that?
When we came down to this housing community, we factored in all of those considerations. At the time, the space was limited, and in the design when we did our overall design of the park. So at this point, I don't foresee us having to be able to expand, but in the future, we as Vincentians are very creative on how we want to do things. But I will leave that up to the residents of the area and the representative to have that kind of discussion going forward.
Awesome. And of course, when you talk about expansion, sometimes people want to get into green technologies. Do you see the roofing having a safe enough slope to allow for, let's say, solar panels if they wish to, solar the house?
I see this park having the potential to have a green impact and be able to put in some solar panels and all that good green initiative that the government wants to put forward. So that can be a stepping stone in the right direction in that area. Yes.
Awesome. And of course, for the prefab houses now, we see the bases are being put together. In terms of the structure itself, as a reminder, in terms of how durable they are, in terms of taking care of hurricanes and also because of the height flooding.
Right. So the prefab structures, slabs are basically earthquake resistant. They're resistant, hurricane safe, and flood prone as well. So their bases are designed from the company out of Trinidad, so we build them according to their specifications. So I know that these bases are to at least those three areas of concern for everybody. Yes.
All right, so to be safe for flooding, safe for hurricanes in general.
And safe for some seismic activity. I don't think anything under a seismic 4, we should be okay. Anything above that, yeah.
Awesome, but at least you're building some resilience into the structures so that people can have a level of safety. Sense of safety.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. We noticed in the corner over there, there's some slabs right there. What are those for?
Oh, those are the slabs you see there piled up are the flooring material for the prefab them. So the next phase after the concrete slabs are done is to start to put on the metal structure. So the first set of metal structures to go down is the flooring structure. So those slabs you see there is the concrete bases that they're putting down. They are pre-engineered already to just come and fit up to go. So that was the whole initiative with the whole prefab structure from Trinidad. Is supposed to be easy, more quicker, right? And still have the durability of a traditional house. So all of those were baked into the discussion into putting the prefabs down.
Awesome. Of course, at other sites we notice the steel structures up and they've been put in a way. I don't want to say like Lego, but that's what comes to your mind because they snap so easily together.
So we call those modules, right? So there's different sectional modules that you put together and we call them bolt together, and then you put them down and you just put them together like, as I said, like Legos. So they have a complete set comes in the container. You pull it out, you set it up, and then you just bolt it together like Legos. Quick, awesome. Easy, fast.
Awesome. Considering the modularity of these buildings, do you see persons, if they want to expand either vertically or horizontally, can they do both or one at a time?
Well, from when we talk to Trinidad, the expansion part and configuration, that's a conversation with the homeowners if they want to do that with Trinidad. But as the ministry would like to say, we're trying to get people back into a safe environment to, with their families. All about expansions and so forth. There'll be a discussion with them at the table when we hand them over and explaining them what they can and can't do with the building.
But in general, prefab houses allow you to do
You can, because it's a modular system, so you can configure it in the future, but like I said, that's a conversation that the homeowners and the ministry will have to have if they so desire to do that.
Awesome. Of course, considering the structures here, which seem to be development of a beautiful village and next to a playing field right here, what do you see this place will look like maybe in 10, 15 years?
Well, I can't, vision down so far down because I'm not the representative. I represent the ministry. But I know it's within the community of Bokomen next to the playing field. Well, I used to see that, more activities would now come on the playing field and, people will come out and use the park and the people next door will be here, to patronize them or whatever, they come up with. As you remember, everybody in St. Vincent have a entrepreneurial spirit. So once there's opportunity, people will try their luck. But to talk about 10, 15 years down the road, I leave that to the representative and the ministry to talk about.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Stoddard, for taking the time out and showing us the work taking place in this community, and of course continue to do your efforts to help to get people back into their homes, which is the most important asset a person can have.
Yes, no problem, Brian. I was happy to give an update to the community and the wider Vincentian public on the recovery road on the housing side for the government. Have a good day.
Looking for sun, sea, and culture? Hop on American Airlines from the US to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Easy, breezy, and unforgettable. Let the adventure begin.
Welcome back. A celebration of culture, comfort, and connection is unfolding at the Argyle International Airport with the official unveiling of the Garifuna Lounge, a space that beautifully blends modern travel with the deep-rooted heritage of the Garifuna people. This newly opened lounge is more than a resting place for travelers. It's a tribute to the resilience, artistry, and identity of proud people whose story forms the foundation of our nation's history. With its vibrant design, cultural motifs, and welcoming atmosphere, the Garifuna Lounge offers each traveler a moment to pause, reflect, and experience the spirit of St. Vincent and the Grenadines before they take flight. Here, heritage meets hospitality, reminding all who pass through that the journey of the Vincentian people is one of strength, pride, and enduring beauty. On Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, history and heritage met beneath the soaring arches of the Argyle International Airport. A banana leaf unveiled, a ribbon cut, not just to open a lounge, but to reveal a beautiful space, an unfolding historic story. A story woven from courage, memory, and the golden threads of Garifuna pride. As the ceremonial scissors glide through silk, the space bursts alive, vibrant, earthy, rooted in who we are as a people.
So this plaque says the Garifuna Lounge, Argyle International Airport Inc., officially unveiled on Tuesday, 11th November 2025 by the Honorable Dr. Ralph E. Gonsalves, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Named in honor of the Garifuna people, symbols of strength, resilience, and pride, rooted in our heritage, soaring to new heights.
We'll now have the cutting of the ribbon.
The Garifuna Lounge stands as a living tribute to our ancestors, the bold and the brave who defied the tides of history and claimed their identity with strength and song. Stepping inside, one can feel the embrace of culture in every corner, the representation of Chataye, the textures, the colors, the rhythm that whispers of resilience, culture, and national pride.
From all observation, it's looking good. Airlines are demanding this type of facility and this type of service. And from all examination and based on feedback, I think most airlines, travel agencies are willing to grab up and use this facility for their valued guests.
On the historical path of the Garifuna people, naming this launch is indeed significant to the trials and temptations that they would have undergone for many years. Of course, on reflection of our historic path, we know very much how much my foreparents would have suffered under the hands of the British from as early as 1498 when they first landed here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And they amplified their pressures on us after 1763. And so, recalling all of that history, I'm indeed happy to have been part of a government that would have given recognition to people who have suffered long and hard.
The name Garifuna Lounge was chosen to honor the strength, resilience, and pride of the Garifuna people, the indigenous descendants of the Kalinago and Africans who embody the strength, resilience, and cultural pride of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It is a name that connects our airport to our heritage and reminds us that while we soar towards the future, our roots remain deeply grounded in our history and culture.
Each detail, from the art on the wall to the warmth in the lighting, bears the thoughtful touch of Mrs. Eloise Gonzalez, whose eyes for details and interior decor and heart for heritage have transformed this space into something deeply Vincentian, deeply beautiful, deeply human and comfortable.
I would like to present them to you here today. So, Sasha and team.
Here, travelers will not just wait for flights. They will pause, reflect, and feel connected to a story that began long before the runway met the sky. A story of a people, a nation, a legacy. And as we rise to toast to this new chapter, we salute the hands and hearts that made it possible, the workers whose dedication will now carry forward this legacy of service and pride. Because the Garifuna Lounge is more than a place to rest. It's a space to remember, to reflect, to honor, and to celebrate the spirit of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
PM, I'm still impressed that after so many years, you still look at your wife like that. That is truly sweet.
How do I look at her? Tell me how I look at her.
Charmingly.
Oh, you know, as they say, a fatten in my eye.
This afternoon, PM, the Garifuna Lounge. This is truly a nice thank you to the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines. Really a warm way of saying, I'm giving this back to you. Your wife has outdone herself in terms of the presentation of the place. It is absolutely gorgeous. The decor, everything. I love the paintings on the wall. Can you give me, not your prime ministerial comment, but as her husband, what are your remarks about the work?
First of all, you have to remember what this thing looked like before.
True.
It was basically The four walls, and I mean, nothing really. The tiling, the roofing, the decor, everything, the sense and sensibility of this place, it has been transformed.
It has.
And Eloise has a fantastic eye. She has a real skill. You know, I'll tell you a story. She fell in love with both fashion and interior designing since she was a little girl, going to school in Africa and in the Middle East. And she grew up designing both clothes and also interior. And she wanted to go and do a degree in designing. Her father was a practical man of affairs. He was a attorney general in countries, he was a judge, a law reformer working for the United Nations, Court of Appeal judge in the Cameroons in English and French, law reformer in several countries, Guyana, Trinidad, Bahrain, Malawi, you know. And when he died, he was doing the laws over in Dominica. Practical man, brilliant man, scholar, and a man of great humility too, but supremely practical. He told me, and he had told Eloise too, but he told me, he said, I made the point that I will finance her to go and do her degree in designing. Interior designing, fashion designing, both of them. But first of all, she has to go and do a conventional university degree, which she did in French and English literature. Said, just in case that she has to teach, she has to interpret, she has to do something. Because his practical conception of life and living in the Caribbean didn't tell him that a proper living could be made out of fashion designing and interior designing. So it's only after she had completed her degree and after she had done a stint of teaching in Trinidad and Tobago, did he said, okay, you say you want to still go and do this thing, go and do your degree in the design in a field, whatever field you want to do. But she had already earned herself an honors degree in English and French literature at UWI.
Wow, I learned something new about you.
I went to New York at that point to study design.
Yeah? Which school?
FIT.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got both.
So you can do both.
Yes, absolutely.
And she first put her eyes on me when I was teaching, when I was lecturing at Cave Hill. And I was not at first aware that she was besotted with the camaraderie. But subsequently...
Yes, you couldn't have been because I wasn't.
subsequently I got to understand.
Yeah, I don't think you're telling the story the way it actually went.
Subsequently.
You know, it's he says, she says all the time, right?
Subsequently, I got to understand that she was eyeing me all the time, you know. What we gonna do? What is a man's blessing? The man would have to get, you know. You can't.
Make sure it's not the other way around.
You can't take it away.
I think it's the other way around.
You can't take it away from a country boy, you know. You know what God has for you, you know. No man could take away, you know.
Spoken like a true Vincent Shannon.
Yeah. What God has for you, nobody could take away.
Here, in the heart of our nation's gateway, culture takes flight and our ancestors smile.
Craving paradise? Fly Delta and touchdown in the untouched beauty St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
for staying with us. Across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, several schools, with the support of the government, dedicated NGOs, are making a meaningful difference in the lives of students by providing healthy, delicious meals each day. At the Emmanuel High School in Mesopotamia, one such NGO has stepped in to ensure that no child learns on an empty stomach. In this feature, we learn more about the organization behind this initiative and the nutritious meals that are helping to fuel minds, nurture growth, and build a healthier future for our students.
Today we're at the Emmanuel High School all the way in Mesopotamia, and right next to me is Mrs. Laurel Harry. Of course, we know at this school is a special organization which helps to provide meals to some of the students. Will you tell us the name of this wonderful organization and a bit about its work?
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Oliver. So the lunch program is done by a non-profit organization. Sarah Ann Vantage is the name, and we noticed that there are students who are having difficulties providing lunches for themselves, and so we decided to step in and help. And we have been doing so for the last 2 years, and we have approximately 30 students who receive lunches 3 days per week. We are doing this on our own, and the organization, as I said, it's non-profit, so we're getting all of that funding from monies in the trust. And we would be happy to have some help, some partners who would help so that we could extend it to more students.
Awesome. In terms of the menu, what is it like? Is there a set menu, or does the chef use her own creativity to create meals for the students?
Yes. Miss Jacobs, who is the person who does the cooking, she uses her own creativity, and we also listen to what the students like, so that it's not set. So from time to time we change. They seem to like soups, so we do quite a bit of callaloo soup and pea soup and that sort of thing. And whatever is seasonal as well.
Awesome. And is there some emphasis placed on having vegetables more incorporated within?
Yes, definitely. As a home economics teacher, I use my experience there to ensure that the meals are balanced. You have your vitamins, your proteins, don't have too much of the carbohydrates and so forth. And sweets, we do incorporate pistas from time to time, but we try to ensure that the meals are healthy.
Awesome. Considering children are the target person, are they enjoying the meals?
Yes. From all reports, the students are enjoying the food. There have been no complaints from them.
Awesome. In terms of your supplies, do you partner with, let's say, maybe farmers and fishermen within the community, or do you see this as an opportunity to try and reach out to them so that you could get more supplies from a local network?
This is definitely an opportunity to do that. We would like persons from the community who are farming, who have access to certain things, to come on board and help. We have had students who've brought things here or there, but nothing on a regular basis.
And also fish, do you have fish within your menu?
No, fish has not been a part of the menu.
Okay, would partnering with maybe a fisherman or a vendor, would that be able to help you get that particular fish onto the menu?
Most definitely, if we have persons who are willing to, whether it's to give us or to sell us at a reduced rate, yes, we would really appreciate that.
Awesome. And of course, we know that the meals are being provided as a means to help the students throughout the day so that they can do well academically. Are you seeing improvement in students as they get the meals, they're able to perform well in class?
We have not noticed anything in particular. Students will definitely come to school if they know that they're getting a meal, as opposed to staying away because they know they don't have anything to eat. And if we can do more to help in that regard, we definitely would want to do that, because you never want to know that a child is hungry.
Awesome. I mean, you think if the community itself on a whole, not just the farmers and fishers, but on a whole, partner with you, you'll be able to provide more meals throughout the week, instead of just 3 days, possibly to 5 days a week.
All of that is quite a possibility. Yes, we would definitely consider something like that. The more we have, the more we'll be able to offer.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Harry, and of course, continue to do your work, which we know is helping to build these students here who will become the leaders of tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Right next to me is the chef, the lady in the kitchen, Miss Dawn Jacobs. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, she prepares delicious meals for the students here. Ms. Jacobs, in terms of your thought process, in terms of either for daily or weekly, how do you determine what you're going to cook?
Well, we had a plan a menu in the beginning, so we work along with that.
Okay, so you have a set menu and you go with it?
Yes.
Awesome. What are some of the things you prepare for the students?
Well, sometimes we do pie and peas, do pilau, we do boiling, we do burgers.
Wow.
Yeah, we do. Sometimes, once in a while, we do a roti.
Interesting.
Yeah, and rice and like big chicken, stew chicken. You know, you mix it up.
Awesome, awesome. Of course, we know that you have to work with your ingredients. But if you're able to get any ingredients possible, is there anything you think you'd want to make for the students?
Not necessarily, because they like what they get in, so.
So the food is so good it can stay as is?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. And students that come in, do they make recommendations as well? Because they do enjoy your food, but do they make recommendations for any special meals?
Sometimes they say they want more burgers, so sometimes they want more pizza, you know?
Awesome.
Like
awesome.
mostly finger foods.
Awesome. Considering that the students are enjoying your food and you know it's helping them in their overall growth and development, how happy are you that you're able to provide a tasty, delicious meal for students?
We're very happy because sometimes they come back and say, "Oh, Miss, it was so good yesterday." They keep asking for more.
Awesome, awesome. All right, thank you so much. And of course, continue to do your work, which is helping to feed the nation's children.
Thank you.
Awesome. We have two wonderful students from this beautiful school. Could you ladies introduce yourselves?
Hello, my name is Kishana Jan.
My name is Elisa Richards.
Awesome. Of course, you guys, every now and again, you will get food from the wonderful chef over there. Do you enjoy the meals they prepare?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite thing that that she cooks?
Yeah, the chow mein.
Chow mein?
White rice and chicken.
White rice and chicken. Awesome. When they do vegetables, do you enjoy how she's able to incorporate it with different meals?
Yeah. I like the sauce and thing pandey.
The sauces. Awesome, awesome. Are there any meals you would say you would like her to prepare for you in the future?
Yeah. Catfish and dumpling.
Oh, wow.
Roti.
And lasagna.
And lasagna. Awesome. And you won't mind if there's, let's say, vegetables in the lasagna and a little thing of vegetables for the loaded fries? All right. Thank you so much, ladies. And of course, continue to give this wonderful chef your support.
Of course.
Awesome.
Read, learn, grow. The children are the future. Help them read, learn, grow. Only reading is the key, so help them read, learn, grow. Let's show them how much fun it is to read, learn, grow. So parents, you play your part. First and foremost, reading from so young is advantageous. Link with the teachers. Working hand in hand is a must. Just 10 minutes of your child reading to you is a plus. Get fun books, make reading priority. When children read, they are able to learn, and the more they learn, the more they grow. So parents help the kids read, learn, grow. Reading is fun, kids have to know. Read, learn, grow. The children are the future. Help them read, learn, grow. So parents, you play your part.
This message is brought to you by the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, funded by United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to www.oecs.org/ELP.
Thanks for staying with us. And in our final feature for tonight, we hear that as the nation heads to the polls, the Supervisor of Elections is reminding citizens of the importance of maintaining peace, order, and respect throughout the process. She underscores that free and fair elections are the cornerstone of our democracy and urge all eligible voters to exercise their right responsibly with calm patience and respect for one another. In her message, she emphasized that each vote counts and every citizen has a role to play in upholding the integrity of the electoral process. Transparency and security is very critical in this period. What measures have been put in place to ensure the integrity and security of the voting process?
The voting process, all the persons who are there, they are monitoring the process.
Okay.
So that's the transparency.
Observers.
Including international observers, because they would be accredited also. You see, I have my badge here. I was using it as a part of our identification. This, I had to have a badge to go into all the polling stations that I had to visit, or otherwise you can't go. You must have authority.
Okay.
Transparency, everybody sees what happens. The only thing is that we don't see a vote.
Okay.
We could only see the votes at the end of the day, but at that time, we will not be able to know who voted for who.
Okay.
Because the counterfoil would be removed. The counterfoil would have your name and your number, your constituency, sorry, and your number. That is just to say that you came in to vote.
Okay.
Not to say who you vote for, because that will be removed before it goes into the box. And those votes that go into the box, those are the ones that will be counted. At the time when the votes are ready to be counted, they will come out, the box will be emptied. All the persons who are working in the station will see that, will witness that.
Okay.
And they will be unfolded one at the other. You will see the mark. If the presiding officer says X, they must show you that they mark the X for X.
Okay.
If they show you for Y, you must see because it will be shown to you. That's the transparency.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, after all that, and you put back that in the box, in envelopes. In an envelope, a large envelope will contain all the documents that should go in the box. It is locked and it is sealed.
Okay.
All the workers must sign off to say, this was the result at our station.
Okay. Okay. How will the electoral office handle and report any complaints or irregularities on election day?
Once people report them, we will look at it. We have the legal team that we could approach to find out if there's any problem that we can't handle. Mm-hmm. But we examine all of that. Like, for instance, the last election, people would come and say my name was inadvertently left out. We would check our system, make sure that you were there, and you would be on.
Okay. Now, for the public conduct and communication, I want to make this clear ahead of time. What should voters avoid doing at polling stations, for example, in terms of their attire, photography, or campaigning, or whatever? What can they do and not do?
12 o'clock on the 26th, 12 midnight, we should have everything cleared in terms of your paraphernalia, your attire, and all of that. You come to the polling station, you come in neutral colors. No yellow, no red. We don't want that. Don't wear any symbol. Some people are very malicious, but the law guards against that. You don't want to go there and intimidate anybody. So you should wear
plain clothes?
Wear plain clothes. Avoid those colors because you know what they stand for. Even if you didn't wear something with symbol, just avoid the colors. You have something else you can put on. And you get there.
But if they do wear a color, they would still be allowed to vote?
We will allow them to vote. It is their right to vote, and some persons just do it maliciously to come up with some confusion. We are not taking on those persons who are looking for mischief.
Okay. How can the public and media access verified information on election night and avoid misinformation? Because we know...
Misinformation going about all now. All now. We're fed up with the misinformation. But the media, there's always a media team. There's always a media team. When the ballots are counted, they are sent to the returning officer.
Okay.
The returning officer would send the information, and we will get that information to the media team, who will make sure we have verifiers. The returning officer would verify the information coming from the presiding officer, because that is written on what is called the Form 16. So the Form 16 has the results. How many persons voted, how many ballots were issued. So there is a reconciliation there.
So trusted media source at the Agency for Public Information, NBC Radio, these are trusted sources that persons
Trusted sources. You must know your source. But we have the misinformation, but they will have their link when that is organized, finalized, because it's being organized now. Those who want the link will have the link, so that at least they too would be able to share the information.
What is your message to political parties, candidates, and their supporters ahead of the election as a supervisor?
The parties sign a code of conduct. I want them to stick to it, and to encourage their supporters to be calm, be respectful. We want a peaceful election. We would like to see that we always do a peaceful election. We always have a transparent election, a free and fair election. We are not saying that at times some persons might come with some situation that we have to address. We are not saying after all the training that somebody might not start off, because it could be intimidating.
Right.
And all now it is intimidating, because officers are being threatened. They are being told if they don't do this, what will happen, who will fire them, who will prosecute them, even our registration officers who are doing the registration. And I ask that they show respect. Where the law is silent on many cases, it is being abused. People use their situation, stand up in front their presiding officers, the registration officers, go and bang on their desk, take their pictures, put it on social media, talk about it is alleged what they are doing, and all we are doing is taking personal information from the registrants. And so we ask them to be respectful, to show the restraint, to give a peaceful environment, and let us have a peaceful, transparent, free and fair elections, as we always do.
Looking ahead, how does the Electoral Office plan to continue improving voter education and engagement beyond this election?
We have always been in the constituencies. Since 2020, in 2021, we had Supre, and so after that, we did civic education. We went to every single secondary school on this island, except in 2 cases. One, when I met the principal, he said his phone was out and he didn't get that. He did not invite me to come after. And one church, they did not allow us to come. For whatever reason, we don't know. But we spoke with all students on the day when we went. Once they were present, the schools allow us to speak to the children from Form 3s to 5. Some schools did not send their Form 3s, but we had 4th and 5th formers. They were able to ask us questions. We spoke about elections, because we knew that if we calculate their age, they would be voting in this election.
Right.
And what some of the things we notice is that when they're young and they turn 18, they really don't pay attention to register.
Right.
Except they have a job or they're going to travel.
Okay.
And so we said, do that as soon as you turn 18. When you turn 18, make sure you go to your constituency and register. Okay. So we invite them to do that, and we will continue to do that. Even when you speak to people, when you came, you met me outside.
Right.
And I was trying to reinforce to a young lady. And she keeps saying, somebody tell me. This sources, many of the sources are wrong. Get it from the right source. Get the information from the right source. And you have up until the 13th, next week, Thursday, to register. We find new voters are just coming. They're in their 20s, they're in their 30s. We are appealing. There are many persons who are trying to transfer. Some of them are truthful, others are not. And we have to do investigations. We try to keep up and make sure that we investigate the cases and make sure that we grant people their wish. Once you're asking for transfer, we have a number of persons whose card were out since 2019. They're now coming to update their card in the 15 days. So we're asking them to do that as it becomes, do it. Yes. Don't wait to come and see if you could, the old folks say, sampatos. Let us be fair.
Okay.
All that is part of the free and fair elections.
Okay, the entire process.
Every one of us. We have a mantra. It takes you, me, all of we to sustain our democracy. And if we try, and you are doing something on the side that is not correct, you are affecting our democracy. You are affecting the transparency of the elections. So all of us have a responsibility.
Thank you so much, Ms. James. Is there anything I have not asked that you'd like to address?
I will just continue to ask people to go out and register and to ask them to go and vote. We don't want, at the time when we are doing our stats, the turnout is low. We would love to know that a number of persons get up and went out to cast their votes.
Exercise their democratic right.
Please, we fought long and hard to have people being able to vote. Before 1952, everybody didn't have that choice. And they must know their history. Get up and go and vote and do it in a peaceful way.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Hi, I'm Sandra, and I'll take you step by step through the voting process in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as we get ready for general elections. First, let's meet the Supervisor of Elections, Mrs. Dora James, who is appointed by the Governor-General and is the overall administrator of the electoral process. Now let's see what happens on Election Day. Your polling station opens at 7 a.m. As you enter, you will see the directions for the guidance of voters in voting. The presiding officer will open the ballot box in the presence of everyone to ensure it's empty. The ballot box is then locked and placed in full view of everyone present in the polling station. When it's your turn to vote, you must present your ID card and state your name for all to hear. The poll clerk will check the voters list and ensure that your name and voter number correspond to the info on the voter registration card. The clerk will also place a mark on the voters list next to your name and voter's number. Here's what the presiding officer will do next. Examine your finger for any marks that indicate you have already voted. Put the election official mark on the ballot paper along with his or her initials. Mark the voter's number on the counterfoil of the ballot and give you instructions on how to vote. The presiding officer will also detach the ballot from the ballot book, fold it, and then hand it to you. You will then enter the private voting booth, where you would use a black lead pencil to mark an X in the space of the ballot, which contains the name and symbol of your candidate choice. After voting, fold the ballot, leaving the initials of the presiding officer and the official mark visible. Hand the ballot to the presiding officer, who will check that the ballot has initials and the official mark. Once you've cast your vote, the presiding officer will then tell you to dip your right index finger in the indelible ink. He or she will then remove the counterfoil and place the ballot in the ballot box for you and all others present to see. Congratulations, you have voted. If you are in the voting line at 5 p.m., you will be allowed to vote. Thanks for watching.
And that's all we have for today's program. Thanks for viewing. Don't forget to take a look at the API's Facebook and social media pages for more news and accurate updates. Also, tune into the API's News Update, which is aired live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5. Until next time, I'm Nika Anderson Isaacs. Have a good evening.